Chapter 10. The Queen of Tyor. Merlara sat with her legs drawn up under her, head resting on her arms. She was still in her nightgown, though it was cold in her cell. Heavy chains bound her wrists. To her right, there were 10 more cells, but they were empty. Apparently, Tyor wished to keep her separated from her companions. She had no way of telling the time except by her empty stomach. She had been given enough water for a few hours, but it did little to dull her hunger. Now she was plagued with dizziness and nausea. She wondered if Tyor intended to starve her, or if it was her chosen method of torture. Of Laedial, Nahim, and Sumaisai she had heard nothing. So far as she knew, Sumaisai's brothers had either been killed or had fled. Only Higlek's cruel words concerning Tyor distracted her from hunger. She refused to believe for the sake of her sanity that he was dead. She told herself that he escaped before the fighting began, though deep down she knew he would never abandon his post. The sound of approaching footsteps roused her. The dungeon was built underground, and her cell was directly in front of the stairs leading into the dungeon. The jailer was the first to appear. He unlocked the barred door, avoiding her eyes as he had always done since her imprisonment. Merlara sat up, contemplating whether she could get him to help her escape. Before she could think of anything, Tyor appeared. She wore a royal dress, but instead of Merlara's gown of black and white, with the red and yellow cape representing the tribes, it was a solid yellow for the rising bows. Her cape looked the same. Merlara's silver circlet crown was around her head. Tyor went into the cell. The jailer locked the door and withdrew. Tyor looked down at Merlara, observing her as she would an animal. Merlara stood up quickly, hoping to hide her weakness. For a moment the two women looked at each other, both standing in a defensive position. Merlara felt a chill run through her, as she realized they had often begun fencing in the same manner. It was Tyor who broke the silence. "I suppose you're wondering why I'm here. It may interest you to know that Higlek has no knowledge of my whereabouts." "I don't see the significance of that," Merlara said bitterly, "since you see yourself as the new queen." "I am your queen," Tyor snapped. "I need no one's approval. Then why should I care if Higlek knows you're here?" Merlara challenged. "Don't think I've lost my wits. You can torture me, kill me, let me languish in my own prison for life, but you will take nothing that is in my mind and heart." Tyor laughed. "I've always owned you. I merely disguised it with love. Do you not realize even now, that all advice I ever gave you was meant to weaken you? Why do you think I suggested sending ambassadors to Callagan in the first place?" Merlara's heart stopped as the truth sank in. "It was you who ordered the ambush. It wasn't hard to persuade you to do what I wished. Once that was done, I only had to arrange for Higlek to distract you, while I arranged the uprising. Obviously, I was aware that the deaths would leave you no time to properly investigate. Then Higlek speaking to Telesi was nothing more than a diversion. Of course. Telesi already had orders to make more weapons. I had to give you someone to blame once the ambush was discovered." Merlara backed away, horrified. "Then you intended for someone to survive to tell the tale. How shrewd you are to guess so easily. A shame you guessed too late. Don't insult me and those you slaughtered. You had the audacity to deceive me, sing over the graves of your victims, and take my kingdom and family from me. I was your family. You are more foolish than I thought, if you think Laedial and Nahim are family. I would have been content to let you remain queen, but you held to the false teachings of your tribe. To ensure our safety, I had no choice but to remove you. And you know well, that people respond best to fear. Yes, I was the one who instigated the rumors that removed you. Ironically, the only one to hinder my plans was Seldrian. Her race is shrewd, and it was only a matter of time before she discovered my intentions. When keeping her out of the citadel failed, I was able to dampen her suspicions with flattery and the guise of friendship. After that, the ambush and rumors were all Aodhnait, and I needed to win enough warriors to our side. Now many more rally to us, and all who oppose us will soon learn that they must obey, or die. Merlara stared at her. Who are you? You are not the sister I loved. I have loved you, as I have never loved anyone, save my parents. I have strived to protect you from those who sought to harm you on my account. What have I done to deserve this? You've done nothing, said Tyor scornfully. It isn't what you've done, but what you are. You are the spawn of dragons, a curse and disease upon our people. Though horrified at her words, Merlara noticed they were strangely contradictory. Do you mean to say that you believe me to be a threat, and yet you know I have no power to destroy Tyor as Aodhnait believes? Tyor stiffened, but her words were matter of fact. My mother taught me our true history, but not what Aodhnait and many others believe. I'm quite aware you have no power to summon the dragons. What makes you a threat, is that with your dragon blood, you have a tendency to the greed and violence they possess. Whether you intend to do so is irrelevant. It's in your nature. I don't wish to kill you, but know this, sister you may be to me, but never my queen. Tyor's cruel words spun around in Merlara's head. She leaned against the stone wall as a wave of dizziness swept over her. Who was this woman? She met Tyor's gaze as if the answer lay there. Instead, her words about her mother came back to her. Slowly she stood upright. What do you mean your mother taught you our true history? She was my mother's closest friend, and honored the dragons as any faithful Tyoryan would. Tyor looked at her with disgust. In appearance, yes. My mother was wiser than my father. He loved us, but he was a great fool. She saw to it he knew nothing of my lessons, well knowing how he would react. It was after my parents died that Aodhnait and I formed our friendship. And when he was made chief in his father's stead, he showed me what I'm capable of. Tyor will need a wise leader if we are to defeat the Seldrian. Merlara allowed an edge to creep into her voice. And I suppose you are this wise leader. Why not? I am your sister, by law if not blood. Then you only have respect for the law when it suits you? You hold me here against Tyor's law. New laws must be put in place, but I am the one best qualified to lead the people. Then which of the tribes is in control? You insist on only wearing your tribe's colors. Do you expect to win a war with Tyor divided? A nation must have order if it is to survive. Unfortunately, the common folk don't always know what they need. You speak as one of the Seldrian. Merlara said fiercely, no one, whether king, queen, or tribal leader, has the authority to take my people's freedom. I didn't come here to seek your counsel. Tyor snapped. I came to offer you and your rebels a choice. Aodhnait wished to kill you, but I overruled him. Killing you would do more harm than good. Liar! You sent your men to kill me in my sleep. Merlara didn't realize until a few seconds after speaking, that her voice had ended in a deep growl. It was nothing like Seldrian's. Tyrell's face showed confusion and even fear, but only for a moment. Aodhnait acted without my orders, she said steadily, though she looked at Merlara with hatred. He'll soon know just how much his impulsiveness irritated me. There are many who still love you, and it would jeopardize the new order if we disposed of you. So this is my offer, you and your companions will swear allegiance to me. Seldrian and her brothers must remain, as they would no doubt use their freedom to conspire against us. You will all be allowed to live in the citadel, but under strict surveillance. Sumaisai and her family will be confined to their quarters, but you will be allowed to leave yours, when I permit it. Nahim and Ladiel may remain in command of their tribes, with the condition that every man, woman, and child submits to me as their queen. Then our choice is to become your slaves. I am giving you security from those who despise you. You ought to be grateful. This is far more than you deserve." Merlara looked at her, her face filled with horror. But it quickly hardened into fury. "Those who sacrifice their freedom for security don't deserve it. Though fool I may seem to you, I speak for us all when I say that we will remain, until you see fit to kill us, or you and your rebels repent of your treason, and return my kingdom to me." Tyriel's eyes flamed. "My servants have done nothing for which to be ashamed. But if this is your choice, so be it." She turned her back on her. "Talel. I am ready to leave." The jailer appeared and unlocked the door. Tyriel stormed out. At the foot of the stairs she turned. "I warn you, this isn't your final choice. You will swear allegiance to me. Perhaps a few days without food will change your mind." She turned and disappeared up the stairs, the jailer following. Merlara slumped against the wall, nausea threatening to overwhelm her. Tears slid down her cheeks. "I've lost everything. My parents' legacy is tarnished. Tyor is gone. Soon I will be dead or slave to the one I once held most dear. By the time Callagan hears of it, it will be too late. The dragons have truly deserted us."